Hello, can you hear me? Hello, welcome to today's stream, welcome. I have risen from the dead. I am no longer, well, I'm a little bit sick, but not as bad as I was, so I'm feeling much better today. In case anyone was wondering, I am feeling much better today. Hello, welcome to stream. Oh yeah, today we are, of course, once again continuing my podcast, Heisei babtro. Today is episode 7, I believe, which is crazy. Glad you're feeling better. Thank you. I am also glad to be feeling better. I hate being sick. I hate it so much. It is not fun. Don't recommend. But today we are once more continuing my podcast, Heisei babtro. Heisei babtro is a podcast where we yap about our favorite media from Japan's Heisei era, which spanned from 1989 to 2019, which is a super wide range of time. But in regards to pop culture, can be best characterized by rapid technological advancements, the rising popularity of anime and Japanese video games both in Japan and overseas, as well as what many consider to be the golden age of places like Akihabara and Harajuku. But today's episode is going to be really fun, because today I'm going to be joined by Emporium of Wonder to talk all about Studio Ghibli, which I'm really excited to yap about. I really love Ghibli films, and I've watched more than I thought I did. I've actually seen a lot more than I thought I had. And I've watched a couple ones this past week as well, so I'm really excited to take the time to yap about them with someone else who is just as passionate. So give me 1 second to make sure Wonder is ready, and then we're gonna get started. Yeah. Yeah, Bites, I would also love to hear what your favorite Ghibli films are in chat, if you have any that you have fond memories of, or that you watched recently for the first time. I'd love to hear about that during today's podcast as well. Just waiting to get the okay, and then we will unmute, undeafen, and start our yapping. I've missed streaming. I feel like every time I take a break, even if it's only a couple of days, it feels like it's been so long. Okay. But Wonder needs 1 more minute. Sounds good. Yeah, like it's only been like, 2 days since I last streamed, but it feels like it's been so much longer. I've still only seen Spirited Away and Porco Rosso. I wanted to watch more before this episode, but alas, with my eternally busy teacher schedule, I wasn't able to. No worries. Yeah, that happens. I watched Porco Rosso finally for the first time a couple days ago, and it was awesome. I really enjoyed it. One second, guys. Okay. I think we are about to set up the Twitch shared chat. So let me go ahead and get that ready. I need to open up hacking. Okay.
Alright, let me pull up the settings.
Hello.
Alright. Hell yeah. Okay, we're almost ready.
Yes.
There's always so many buttons to click whenever you use.
Yes.
Yeah. people are like, "Oh, streaming's so easy. You just turn on a computer," and it's like, no.
There's so many things you have to set up.
There is. Like, I dual stream on YouTube, which means that I have like.
Yeah, me too. I'm also
Yeah.
multi-streaming on YouTube.
Yeah, it's good. I use it mostly for the fact that I can store VODs, but it doesn't really
Yeah.
get. That means there's so many extra buttons. Okay. All right. I sent you the invite through the stream together. All right. I sent you the invite through the stream together. I'm usually the one who has to set up for my friends, so I'm very used to getting it running.
Alright, looking for the invite now. Sometimes it takes a second for it to pop up for me.
Yeah, but it's not always the smoothest delivery.
Yeah, here it is. Okay. I have accepted your invite.
Push. There we go.
Alright, there we go.
There we go. That should be working now.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yep, share chat is enabled, so everything's running now.
Yippee.
Yeah.
Yeah, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself to my viewers?
Sure, of course. So let me pull out my little spiel. I actually wrote it down. Hi, my name is the Librarian, they, them. I'm part of the Emporium of Wonder, which is a group of animatronics who are just trying to have some fun. And we are, in real life, what that translates to in real life is we're a DID system. So that means that basically, how do I explain it? Multiple identities in one body. And we each stream as different animatronics under our brand of the Emporium of Wonder. Typically, if you watch our content, it's shitting on capitalism, being gay, playing video games. That's typically what we're doing.
Let's go.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's great to have you here as well. So, of course, today we are going to be talking about Studio Ghibli, which I've been really excited about this episode. I think I mentioned to you before that I've been trying to watch a few more Ghibli movies ahead of the stream to, like, catch up. And I actually lied to you. There's two Miyazaki films I haven't seen yet. I haven't seen Castle in the Sky, and I haven't seen the newest one, The Boy and the Heron. But I didn't realize that I'd seen all of the other ones he's made. I am almost caught up.
Almost caught up, which is good. And the thing is that, like, there are quite a few Ghibli movies. It's not as much as like other studios, but there definitely is, like, how do I put it? I feel like Ghibli movies are not ones you can rush through. They require a little bit of, like, chewing on. So I've never met someone who has watched all of them except for me, and that's because it's a special interest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually saw Boy and the Heron in theaters when it came out in 2023. Yeah.
I really want to see it. It looks really good.
Yeah, I don't know how much I can talk about that one without giving spoilers, but it's a really interesting one out of the Ghibli canon because it essentially, behind the scenes in terms of Ghibli, the studio has always been led mostly by Hayao Miyazaki and some of his major co-collaborators. And Hayao Miyazaki's son for a while was thought as potentially the one who would take over the studio as time went on. But Hayao Miyazaki is a great artist, but he's also very possessive. And so he's never fully handed the reins over to his son, even though that seems like something he should do. So the reason partly he keeps coming back to make more movies is because he just can't give it up.
I mean, fair.
Yeah, it's very fair. But yeah, a lot of people think that Studio Ghibli is going to end when Hayao Miyazaki passes, and that's actually pretty likely currently because he doesn't really seem to have set up any form of, like, succession, if that makes sense. Like, when he's gone, it's gone, you know? So it's very fascinating to think about that.
Definitely. But yeah, I think the best way I usually like to start these is kind of giving like a basic overview for people who are very new, maybe who don't know anything about Studio Ghibli. How would you like introduce Studio Ghibli to someone new?
I would introduce Studio Ghibli as, if you're American, which I am,
Yep.
I think that Ghibli is one of the best ways to get an unfiltered look Japanese culture from specifically that time period, slash from someone who's, Hayao Miyazaki's older. He lived through some of the like harder times that Japan went through before the end of the war and everything, World War II. And so the reason I say that is, look at like Sailor Moon, right?
Yeah.
In Sailor Moon, there are the original version. I'm not talking about the new one, but in the original version, there were a lot of cuts, right? Like the lesbians became cousins or things like that. And I think that Ghibli is very unabashedly Japanese, because the first movie that was meant to be sent over to the US was Nausicaa the Wind, which is technically pre-Ghibli. It's a Ghibli movie now, but it technically existed before Studio Ghibli. And so what happened is, the Americans were looking at this movie and they're like, this is too unknowable for an American brain. So what they did is they made a bunch of like cuts and they tried to turn it into an action movie, and it pissed off Studio Ghibli and Hayao Miyazaki so much that I don't know if the story's fully true. This might be apocryphal, but the story goes is that a katana got sent to the American studio and it said no more cuts. And so the reason I bring that up
I love that so much. I hope it's true.
I hope it's true too. And so essentially, like, what that means is that the Studio Ghibli movies are fully Japanese. Every single one of those movies has not had alterations, changes, anything that would have possibly like quote unquote diluted it or been influenced by like American ideas of what it should be. It is very much just Japanese sensibilities. So I feel like the reason a lot of people know about Japanese culture, especially if they grew up as kids where you probably weren't old enough yet to read subtitled animes and get the original intent, is through Ghibli movies. That's my personal opinion.
I love that. It's a real shame, because I remember a couple years ago, for fun, I wanted to watch through the entire first season of the Pokemon anime, and doing like research about the episodes as I would go through. And it's crazy how much in like the original Pokemon anime, how Japanese it really was, and how much they were trying to like try their hardest to like Americanize it. Like your entire episode's based around a literal like actual real life Japanese holidays. And like they were like, how do we make this not Japanese in the dub? But like it was so hard because like it was so intrinsically a Japanese show. So it's really a shame when they do that.
It is really a shame, because there was particularly in the 80s and 90s, before we have the modern day like anime culture we do. Like nowadays a lot of people care about the original intent behind the anime, right? But in the 80s and 90s, there was so often the thing of like, well, we just have to adapt these to be basically American cartoons. Like we have to make these American, or else kids are not going to get it. Like it's similar to, weird side tangent, but you probably know of like a Kid Bop, where they like turn songs into versions. Yeah, so they had they recently did a version of one of the K-pop Demon Hunter songs, and the way they made it a kid version was they removed all the Korean.
I hate that.
Exactly, but I think that's kind of what was happening in that era of the 80s and 90s, was how do we make this American even though it's Japanese? And you can kind of tell that it doesn't work. Like, again, like the Sailor Moon example, you're like, this is kind of weird. Like, or like you're talking about with Japanese holidays, you're like, something doesn't feel like it's meshing, you know? Yeah. And I personally find that really fascinating, is that Ghibli movies are also, in my opinion, like, it's a very particular brand of Japanese culture compared to a lot of other Japanese media, because Hayao Miyazaki's focus is always, as you probably know, if his movies does not have a woman as the main protagonist, something is off. They're women-led movies typically.
Yeah.
Typically with a focus on environmentalism, typically a focus on how evil war is, and typically a focus on how you are not the main character.
Yeah. But I love that about these movies. Like, it's something I want to talk about a little bit more later into the podcast, I think, but the way people talk about Ghibli films online and kind of, like, softening them a bit too much, I think, when there's some really interesting commentary in, like, pretty much all of them, but a lot of people try and make it out to be kind of more like a always whimsical, always wholesome and soft, like an idealist fantasy, when it's not exactly what these movies are trying to convey, I feel like. There's so much going on.
100%. You're 100% correct. I personally think part of the reason I wanted to talk about Ghibli movies today is because I think that Ghibli movies are in a really weird place currently in American culture. And what I mean by that is most of us grew up with them, right?
Yeah.
But they've been co-opted by a lot of like tech bros for like AI projects.
Yeah,
as you see in, like, Call of Duty.
All of the like AI generated Studio Ghibli stuff. Like, that's not Studio Ghibli. That's not what it means. That's not what it represents.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's not. But somehow like Studio Ghibli has become like this weird, like, in American culture, it's become this like, how do I put it? I get the sense that some people treat Studio Ghibli as not anime, so therefore it's palatable, you know, like that really dumb idea that like, oh, it's not weeb shit anymore, pardon my language, like it's
no problem,
it's like in a middle ground, like somehow because it was imported the way it was in the period it was in, people are like, oh, that's not the thing that we don't like, and somehow it's been co-opted by all these like douchey bag tech bros. And then like I know that if Hayao Miyazaki was American, he'd be throwing such an absolute fit about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, so much love and care has been put into these movies that trying to replicate any of it with AI is just, it's not possible to like make it work. Like, it's completely antithetical to what these movies are, so it really sucks.
Yeah, it does, especially because 90% of Ghibli movies are hand drawn, and so that's even more where sometimes it's like a brain bender. Like, these are not movies that were mostly made with computers. Like, Miyazaki's kind of a control freak, so most of his movies are made by hand because he prefers the results.
Yeah, and they come out so beautifully, so like, you know, if it works, it works.
It does. Yeah, it does work. I don't know what topic we should start with first, but that is actually one I wanted to mention, was about the different types of style that are used in a Ghibli movie.
Yeah, well, one thing I wanted to talk about, we can get deeper into it as we go, of course, but another starting point I like to go for is like, what was your first Ghibli movie, and how did you personally get into that? As you said, it's a special interest of yours. How did that start for you?
Yeah, of course. And also feel free to help lead the conversation. I do have autism, so sometimes my brain does not know where the conversation's supposed to go, so I do appreciate it. For me, my first Ghibli movie was Howl's Moving Castle. So as a kid, I grew up in a very rough childhood, without getting too deep into it. And around 2007, 2008, Great Recession, life is just ass. And we went to, at the time, I believe it was, I think it was not Blockbuster, it was a knockoff Blockbuster in El Paso. I grew up in El Paso, Texas. And we bought movies that were like no longer usable by the theater for, not theater, but the movie store for rental. And we bought two movies. It was Howl's Moving Castle and Castle in the Sky, or Laputa, which is the Japanese title. And we had a aftermarket DVD player in our minivan, and every single road trip I would always insist that we put in those two movies. And so over the cumulative span of like from age 8 to like I say 12 or 14, I basically watched those movies over like 24 times. And
Oh my gosh. I love that.
Yeah, and they were ironically like a big like cornerstone of stability in my life. And also at the same time, Sophie specifically from Howl's Moving Castle, ironically, is a big part of why I figured out that I'm trans. Because I just looked at her and I'm like, why can't I be this woman? Why can't I just look like her? And it took me a little while to realize that wanting to look like her meant that I actually wanted to transition. And when that finally clicked, I was like, holy shit.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. That was how I learned. That's how I first interacted with Ghibli movies. It's a big part of like, even how I think about the world is really influenced by these movies.
Yeah, for me, I didn't grow up exactly on Ghibli films. My first one was Ponyo when I was a teenager, actually. Because I used to attend an anime club at the local library, and honestly, the anime club kind of sucked, because like we would like play a movie and then everyone would talk over it the whole time. But I remember watching Ponyo, and like even though I couldn't really hear because the volume was low and everyone was talking over it, I was just like mesmerized by how beautiful the animation was. And so I was like, I don't know what's going on story-wise, but I love this. Like the water and all the colors, like this is great. I can't wait to watch it again and like hear it. And so of course I did eventually get my hands on a DVD of it and watched it, and of course I loved it. And I've been over the years since then trying to watch as many as I can get. Actually, my favorite one, well, Ponyo's my personal favorite one, but I am also very, very attached to Totoro, because that's my younger sister's favorite, and like we would watch it together all the time. And even like, you know, me and my younger sister are pretty close. And so when I went to Japan for the first time, I bought her a little charm that looked like May. And so I have a lot of fond memories associated with that movie too.
I love that. Ponyo's a great one. That's definitely one of the. That's one of the greats of all time, actually.
Yeah, it's so good.
It is so good. I don't know if you know this, but I think in the English dub, let me real quick triple check myself before I say it. There's the old women in Ponyo have really funny voice actors, actually. Let me actually pull that up. I remember I laughed so hard when I saw because they always get like big names for Ghibli movies. Let me real quick grab it. I have it right here. I like triple checking my facts before I say certain things.
Of course. Also, hello, welcome to stream. Welcome.
Yeah, so some of the old women are voiced by Lily Tomlin, Betty White, and Janessa, and one other person I don't remember the name of. But yeah, so Betty White is one of the old women.
That is crazy.
Right? People don't realize how star-studded the English dubs of Ghibli movies are, but it is pretty insane. Like, you know, Hal is Christian Bale in the original Howl's Moving Castle.
Well, that's crazy. Like, I do really appreciate though the amount of like care that goes into these dubs though. Like they're hiring like big names, but also like people that can like pull off these roles. Like I don't think I've heard a single Ghibli dub or like, man, this sucks. Like all of them are good.
Yeah, they're all very good dubs. I always laugh the most about Howl's Moving Castle because Christian Bale voicing Hal, as you know, Christian Bale later voiced Batman.
Yeah.
So there's a couple scenes where Christian Bale is like playing Hal depressed, and he adds gravel to his voice, and he just sounds like Batman, and
oh my
you can't want to hear it. It makes me laugh every time because it's like, oh, here comes Hal Batman.
When I heard the voices of Michael Keaton and Carrie Ellis and Porco Rosso, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize Carrie Ellis was in that. I wasn't paying attention to the credits at the end. That's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like that's what happens though every time you watch a Ghibli movie, is while you're watching it, you don't really notice like who the voice actors are because they're just good. And then you look up the list later and you're like, Betty White?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's the like after watching the movie, you look up the names and you're like, wait, How? How'd they get all these people here? Yeah.
And I also just appreciate how, like, respected Studio Ghibli is, even here in the US, so that they can get these huge name actors. And, like, treat them like the same way Disney films are treated, essentially. Like, they're a big deal. But they deserve to be.
No, I think you're fully right. And I think it's because Ghibli movies have been marked as art by American eyes. Like, it's not saying other forms of anime aren't art, but I think specifically for American executives, if you say, hey, there's a new Studio Ghibli movie, they're like, oh, that's art. We have to invest in it, you know?
Yeah.
It's a different response than for other animes where they're like, yeah, just throw it on Crunchyroll and use AI to make the captions. It's like, what the hell?
I hate that so much.
Same, I hate it so much too. It makes it unbearable sometimes. And that's a whole other discussion of like what Americans consider art when it comes to Japanese culture, which is a whole other complicated thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your personal favorite Ghibli movies? And I'm gonna ask you a double question and see if they're matched or if they're different. What are your personal favorite Ghibli films, and which ones would you recommend to new fans?
They are separate. My personal favorites would be Howl's Moving Castle, Porco Rosso, Nausicaa of the Wind, and then Grave of the Fireflies, which is not technically one of Hayao Miyazaki's, but it's still a Ghibli movie. Grave of the Fireflies, though, is you watch it once, it changes your life, and you never watch it again because it's so depressing.
I haven't seen it yet. I really want to, and I've been always like a little bit scared to. I definitely will at some point, though. I really want to.
Yeah, I recommend it. I would say, though, if you are going to watch it when you're not feeling emotional, because it will make you emotional. So if you're already emotional, you're screwed. You're doomed. It is depressing. It is one of the most it is one of the Ghibli movies that truly I think is like heart-wrenching. Like most Ghibli movies have a lot of soul, but like Grave of the Fireflies is just devastating.
Yeah.
For new fans, I would personally recommend Lapida, or Castle in the Sky, Ponyo, Kiki's Delivery Service, and then My Neighbor Totoro. I think those four probably will make people immediately be like, "Oh, these are good movies." And they hit a lot of different eras in terms of like Miyazaki's thought processes. You know, like Ponyo is one of his later movies, so it's a little bit more contemplative. You have like Kiki's Delivery Service and My Neighbor Totoro, which are earlier, so they're more like happy and more like excited about the world. So you kind of get to also see the different ideas he plays with, which I think is important. Yeah.
I would agree with that pretty much. Like, I was thinking, like, what would I recommend? I think I was giving someone recommendations in my Discord the other day. Let me see, which ones did I recommend? See if they match yours.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Scrolling up in my Discord to see what I was recommending. Yeah, I recommend Ponyo, Kiki's Delivery Service, and I said Howl's Moving Castle and my new fan recommendations, because that one is just so fun. Like, if you love fantasy, you'll love Howl's Moving Castle.
The reason I don't have Howl's Moving Castle as one for someone who wants to get into Ghibli is I feel like Howl's Moving Castle almost exists in its own pocket, where it is a Ghibli movie, but it doesn't necessarily fit the vibe of a lot of Ghibli movies because it is an adaptation of a like American book.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. Yeah, it is different, but
it is
still
different.
very, very fun.
It is very fun.
I hesitate sometimes to say cozy when talking about Ghibli, but like I found it very cozy. Like it's a very fun to watch movie.
I think cozy is a good word.
Yeah, I think for Howl's Moving Castle, cozy is definitely a good word for it.
I think most Ghibli movies, except for Grave of the Fireflies, are made up of showing you how things can still be cozy even when bombs are dropping. And that's what Howl's Moving Castle conveys. Is like, oh, this is so cozy. Next scene, bombs are dropping on the town and everyone thinks on fire. And you're like, this doesn't feel cozy anymore. And then it just goes right back to cozy somehow. And it works. And you're like, it's that like, it's that idea, especially I think that comes from a lot of like people who went through World War II, like both American and non-American, of like life still moves forward in a normative manner, even if things are completely on fire, you know, like it's, you still have to get groceries, even if like half town burned down, you know, it's like that is that weird liminal zone, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Which I think resonates with a lot of people these days, especially those who are like LGBTQ or trans in the US, is like life still goes on even while the government is being awful. Like you can't, somehow you still have to just get groceries.
Definitely. And I love that about Ghibli films, how like they deal with sometimes they deal with heavier subject matter, but they're still comforting and they still have a lot of hope in them, which I think we need, especially now. We need hope amid the terrible things going on in the world.
Exactly, yeah. I think that Ghibli movies speak to, like you're saying, it's the thing that I've often thought about, is that even if the world is terrible right now, you can't be paralyzed by it. Like there's a certain level of like, you have to acknowledge the terribleness, you have to fight back against it, but at the same time, you also have to live. Like you can't give up the fact that you are alive. And I think that is very much like you're saying, it's what Ghibli movies are saying. It's like, yeah, fight back. Yes, try to change it. But also, are you going to give up on yourself? Are you going to give up on the fact that you are currently alive and able to experience the joy of the world? You know? Yeah. That's something I think about a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm still just thinking about Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, because I watched that yesterday, and like, oh my gosh, that was so freaking good. Like, I haven't sat down and like ranked the Ghibli movies I've watched yet to figure out what my like definitive like top 3 or anything are. Like, I would say Ponyo's my favorite just because I just really love it. But Nausicaa was incredible. Like, that definitely might be up there in like my favorites now.
I think, yeah, Nausicaa's amazing.
In just one movie, I feel like it was able to convey such a vivid world, and so much was going on. The protagonist is so incredible. We need more Nausicaa's in the world. It was so good.
And I also love how, like, Nausicaa the Valley of the Wind is, in my opinion, one of the weirdly, like, I feel like it's a weirdly haunting movie, but in a good way.
Yeah.
You know, like, Nausicaa the Valley of the Wind is, in my opinion, a good example of, like, how do I put it? A lot of American interpretations of the apocalypse is everything goes to absolute crud and nothing is left in the world and it's just garbage now, right? Like, you can think of like Fallout, Last of Us, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nausicaa the Valley of the Wind is like, yes, the world ended. Yes, everything's on fire. And we still have to build a new life. Yeah. And I think that's particularly why Nausicaa is so beautiful. I actually have the plushie of the little fox from Nausicaa the
I
Valley
love
of the Wind.
that.
Yeah, it's the first ever plushie my girlfriend got me 5 years ago when we started dating.
Aw, that's so cute.
Yeah, I think it's also really fascinating how you have this like small valley that Nausicaa is from, right? And her town is adapting. They're doing fine. They're trying to build a new world and everything. And then you have these other factions and forces that are trying to like rebuild the old. And the movie's kind of like, the old didn't work. That's kind of what it's trying to say, is like, this didn't work, you know? Yeah. Also, fun fact: Patrick Stewart is one of the voice actors in the English dub for Oscar the
Oh.
Valley of the Wind.
Even from the
he plays
start,
old guy.
even from the start, like, Ghibli movies were so respected, which I think is so great.
I agree. I 100% agree. And also, they're very environmental focused. Like, a lot of people forget that. Like, they're very much about environmentalism. For sure. And I think Oscar the Valley of the Wind is one of the most environmentalist movies.
No, definitely.
Yeah. Ugh. One second. Asthma. There we go. Instead of ad breaks, I call them asthma breaks sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can also talk about Porco Rosso for a little bit if you want, because I also watched that and that was really good. I don't think it's one of my favorites that I've seen out of all the ones I've seen, but it was really good.
Yeah, I love that one. I also love how anti-fascist that movie is.
Oh yeah, that was amazing. I loved hearing the "I would rather be a pig than a fascist" for the first time. Like, oh yeah, that's from this movie. I've seen that quote go around, but like I didn't realize it was from a Ghibli film.
Yeah, that is, in my opinion, that is one of the best quotes of all time in terms of,
it's so good.
It's just hilarious though, because it's like the whole movie you're like, I don't know what the vibe is, and then he says that line, you're like, you know what? I understand now.
And I love how, like, kind of subtle the fantasy of it is. Like, we know he was turned into a pig, but they never really go into detail about how that happened. It's just like, oh yeah, he was cursed. But they don't, like, give too much. The magic is a lot more subtle, which I think is fun.
Yeah. A lot of Ghibli movies have magic, but typically the magic is, like, gentle magic. It's the type of magic where it's like, yeah, he got turned into a pig. All right, let's move on. Like, you know, like a lot of...
like, I love that, like, all the human characters are also like, oh yeah, he's just a pig now. Like, no one's like, oh my god, how did this happen? They're like, oh yeah, he's a pig now.
Yeah, he's a pig.
I love that so much.
It's hilarious, and it's also really funny because, like, a lot of American movies, when they approach magic, they're like, how did this happen? Let's dive into it. Or like you're saying, there's like big shocked reactions, and it's all these like it's a big giant thing. And in Porco Rosso, as you're saying, it's like, yeah, he's a pig. And that's it. He's a pig, and he flies a plane. All right, movie's going forward now. A lot of his movies have that happen. Like there's what's a good example? Another example is Totoro. Like, why are these creatures in the forest? I don't know. Why are you asking?
Yeah. I also like that in Totoro, they don't really go into the details because, like, the main characters are children. They don't care about the details, so they're just like, oh, there's cool creatures here. Like, it's more of an adult thing, I think, to be like, how did this happen? Why are you here? And the child is like, oh, heck yeah. I knew they were real. There's no doubt in their minds that everything they're seeing is real, because why would it not be?
Yeah, exactly. It's that whole thing of, like, adults crave answers, kids just kind of roll with it. Like, I used to help run a daycare, and I've raised a lot of kids in my life. And kids up to age like 10 don't give a single flying shit about what the actual answer is for why things happen. They're just like, oh, it's cool. All right.
Exactly. And I like that, like, that. Studio Ghibli, like, seems to get that. And, like, the movies with child protagonists have so much whimsy in them because, like, that's how they're seeing the world. Like, Totoro and Ponyo, like... Even a little bit in Porco Rosso at, like, the beginning of the movie with the schoolgirls, like, just to the whimsy levels. Because that's just how things are for kids. Yeah.
Ghibli movies for sure are always whimsy, maximum whimsy at all times.
Yes.
I do love that. Like, you know, like Kiki's Delivery Service, she's a witch, she has a broom.
Yep.
moving forward. You know, like
Yes.
it's a never.
Yeah, I love how casual it is in Kiki's delivery service. Like, it's just like, ah, yes. She is magic. She has a flying broom. She does her job. That's her job.
I love also how like mundane her job is. Like, yeah, she has magic. She does deliveries.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, you'd expect it to be more like crazy, like, oh, she has magic, so therefore it's gonna probably involve like a bunch of big bombastic elements. And it's like, no. It's just deliveries, you know. She's a taxi driver with a broom, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, also part of the reason, fun fact, part of the reason so many Ghibli movies focus on flight is Hayao Miyazaki in particular was extremely fascinated by flight as a kid. So some of his movies, like I forget the name of it, but there's one that is actually just about a Japanese aircraft designer. And he just basically, he always loves things that fly. So like, if you ever wonder why so many of his movies involve flying, it's because that's his special interest. If it fly, he's in.
No, I love that. Yeah, I was thinking about that yesterday after watching Nausicaa. I was like, there's so many of these movies, like Porco Rosso, Nausicaa, what else? What am I missing?
Owls.
Howl's Moving Castle, Kiki's Delivery Service, like so much. Like even Totoro a little with the cat bus. Like there's so much just vehicles in flight. I love that though.
I love it too. I think it's because, like, my personal theory is that Hayao Miyazaki, because he grew up, if I remember correctly, like the 40s.
Yeah.
He grew up with like technology really taking off in terms of flight and things like that. So like he has the whimsy about a lot of those things that like modern day we kind of don't have. Like we're like, oh, there's a plane in the sky. Shrug. And he's probably still looking at it like, how the hell is that happening? Like, you know, like yeah, and actually that's one thing I wanted to talk about in particular. Is I think one of the things that a lot of people miss when it comes to Ghibli movies that they don't realize is the reason they're so good is the music. I think the music is why the whimsy is there.
The music is so good. I agree.
And they're all made by one composer for most of his movies. Joe Hayashi. Joe Hayashi has basically scored every single Ghibli
I didn't
film.
realize it was all the same guy. That's awesome.
Yeah. But it's all one guy. People have often like said it's similar to the collaboration between John Williams and I forget the name of the director, Steven Spielberg maybe. But it's like if a movie's made by Hayao Miyazaki, it's going to have Joe Hayashi music, which is going to have a certain sound, and I think that's why Ghibli movies are so beautiful, is because of the music. Like I think it's a good.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, it's like 40% of the enjoyment of the movies is just the music. Yeah, it's gorgeous music.
Yeah.
Do you have any particular tracks that you like?
Oh, trying to think. I mean, the first thing that literally is playing in my head right now is like the Totoro theme song. Like it's so nostalgic, kind of.
You're talking about the Totoro.
Yeah,
Totoro.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love that
really
one.
Good. Oh, that one's amazing. I love how peppy that one is. That one has such a like fun, like, how do I put it? It sounds like something that would be played at a small supermarket.
Oh my gosh, that's so accurate.
You know what? If they're playing that at the supermarket, I'm buying extra food. I'm just jamming along. I don't even want to put it in my cart, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Ponyo song is also really good.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
I agree. Oh, such good music. I love the Magical Merry-Go-Round from Howl's Moving Castle, which is the one that goes dun 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 dun. I love that one.
Yeah, all the music in Nausicaa, I was like, the whole movie was like, oh my gosh. Like, if I just close my eyes, music is on its own is so freaking good. Like, the visuals are also amazing, don't get me wrong, but like, the music in Nausicaa was incredible.
Mm-hmm. Nausicaa the Wind, yeah, that has great music too. I feel like,
very 80s,
I like
which I loved about it.
Yeah, very 80s. It's one of his more, I think it's technically the more synth out of all the tracks on his
definitely,
movies. Yeah, because a lot of them are more like quote unquote natural, like lower electronics. That one definitely is a bit more, let's go a little bit more.
Yeah.
I feel like what is characteristic of Ghibli music, and my theory is Ghibli music is why we have like lo-fi today, is like music that is haunting and nostalgic even if you've never heard it before.
Yeah.
Like, you feel like you've heard it before.
Oh, absolutely. Like, every time I watch a Ghibli movie for the first time, like, even though this is literally my first time, I didn't watch this as a kid. Like, it feels like something I would have watched as a kid. Like, there's that feeling I get even though it's not actual nostalgia.
Yeah.
Like, I love anytime something makes me feel that way. If you can make me nostalgic for something I've never experienced, then you've done something right.
100%. No, you're 100% correct. It's similar to, have you ever heard of the whole thing of like people who purposely go to like dead malls because there's like a nostalgia to just seeing something even though you've never been there? Yeah. I think it's like that. It's like packaged nostalgia. And it's because I remember one time I showed my girlfriend one of the Ghibli movies that she hadn't seen, and she's like, I've heard this before, and I was like, have you? And she tried to figure out where she heard it. She's like, no, I haven't. And I'm like, yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great music. I'm just thinking about some of the tracks right now. Sorry, I get lost in my head sometimes when I think about stuff.
Yeah, no worries.
Side note, how's your Friday been?
Oh, not bad. I'm finally getting over my cold, so I'm much better than I was a few days ago.
Oh, thank goodness.
I can breathe and my throat doesn't hurt, so I'm happy.
Oh, thank goodness. That is a giant improvement then. You went from we bedridden to back to we active.
Yes. Exactly.
Oh. Yeah. I'm very happy to hear you're feeling better.
Yeah. How have you been doing?
Yeah. I've been alright. I have chronic health issues, so any day that I'm breathing is a good day. So today's a good day.
Glad to hear it.
Thanks for asking. I appreciate it. Oh god, it's definitely been February's been a month. I don't know if you felt that. Like, it's just been such a busy month.
Yeah. It also felt really long for a February.
Yeah.
Like, somehow we're finally approaching the last week, but it feels like we've had more than 3 weeks of this month. It's weird.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, like 2025 felt like it went by pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough. 2026 feels like it's been on crawl mode. Like, so much is happening every week.
I know. It's February felt like ages. Yeah, definitely.
For sure. And also, there's been so much happening this February in terms of the stuff happening, and it's like, oh my lord, my brain.
Well, congratulations on getting a new cat. Let's go.
Oh, that's
I love
adorable.
black cats. I want a black cat one day. When I have my own place, I want to get a cat.
Black cat like Gigi from
Kiki's?
Yeah. Hell yeah, that would be adorable. Fun fact, Gigi was originally voiced by a woman in the Japanese dub. But the English, they switched her to a guy.
Interesting.
Yeah, which means you can headcanon that the cat is trans mask.
Oh, let's go. I love that.
Congrats, Gigi, on transitioning. Yeah. But yeah,
we've been talking about... Oh, sorry for interrupting. I was gonna say...
No, it's okay.
We've been talking about the music of Ghibli for a bit. Do you have anything you want to say about the animation? I mentioned before that most of it was hand-drawn, which I think is amazing. I love hand-drawn animation.
So, in particular, if you look at, like, I think a really good example is Howl's Moving Castle. They typically do 3 different styles of art when it comes to how they draw a scene, right? You have the part that's going to be animated, which is typically drawn using cells, and it's very, like, light drawing in terms of, like, it kind of, like, you can, if you pause some of the frames in a Ghibli movie, you can kind of tell which parts are going to animate and which ones aren't based on, like, the textures. I'm actually going to, real quick, I can grab a quick screenshot to actually emphasize this point. Please ignore the very loud keyboard sounds. I have a keyboard that sounds like 1,000 bombs going off. But let me grab a quick... I have actually a screenshot that kind of shows this. Where did I put it? My God, why do I always lose something that I put specifically for usage? I do this to myself way too often.
No, my files on my computer are a huge mess. I can never find anything.
Yeah, no, it is nigh impossible. Okay, I'm gonna send you this image. There you go.
Okay, I'm gonna download this and put it on screen for viewers to see.
Thank you for doing so. Let me know when it's on screen, and then I'll describe what I mean. And I'll also send you one other that you can also have if you want to swap to it.
Oh, very big. Let me shrink this down a tiny bit. There you go.
Oh, that's always the fun part, is resizing things.
Now keep a close up for a moment so you guys can see it more clearly.
Yeah. So, for example, in this one scene, this is where Hal has just met Sophie and is helping her escape some of the forces of the Witches of the West. And if you notice, Sophie and Hal are drawn in a very bright and light style, right? Like, it's very obvious that this part is going to end up animated. Now, if you look at the background, most of this looks like watercolor. Watercolor painting and drawing. And typically speaking, in Ghibli movies, if it looks like it's watercolor, or if it looks like it's like oil painting almost, then that indicates something that's meant to be imposing. So, like, it's a building, it's a castle, it's a warship, it's something big, it's something that's not human feeling. And typically, the nature landscapes, the things that are like more zoomed out, are typically drawn in like a very brush pencil style to indicate something natural and beautiful. I'm gonna grab a picture of the Field of Flowers from actually the Ghibli movie, so you can actually see right here the kind of like way he indicates nature in a lot of his movies. There you go. You can kind of tell the difference between how buildings are drawn and how nature is drawn in this one picture, in terms of what is more similar to like a brush paint style and what is more of like a hard line.
Let me grab that last picture.
100%.
I know, that's so beautiful. I love the art in these movies.
It is gorgeous art.
It's obvious so much love and care gets put into these.
And the crazy thing is that every single background is hand drawn.
Yeah, like that's so much effort put into these. I love it.
So much effort. That's why these movies take so long to make. Is so much hand drawing. But as you can see between the different pictures, there's a lot of visual language that Ghibli uses by blending different styles. So, like, if you compare it to, let me pull it up real quick. I purposely keep examples when I'm talking about certain things because I'm a visual person, and I know some people are also visual people.
Yeah.
So, if we look at another example of a still from, we get it, that's roughly the same era. So, here we go. So this is from the 90s Sailor Moon, right? So it's roughly the same era.
Yeah.
You can see that it all looks like it's about to be animated. I'm going to talk about the comparison between the two once.
Yep.
You've had a second. Yep.
Alright, here's the Sailor Moon picture.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the Sailor Moon picture, nothing against the art style, but A, it's meant for TV. B, it's done in very much just an animated style.
Yeah.
So like if you look at everything on screen, all of it looks like it's done very quickly to allow for like the snappy animation to occur, right?
Yeah.
And if you compare that to a photo of one of the Ghibli scenes, there's a very deep purpose in every single Ghibli scene where the characters kind of stand out from the rest of the background because they're the only thing that's going to be animated. Like, that's it. Like, nothing else on screen is going to be animated. Nothing else is going to move. Like, there's a very... How do I put it? It feels like the characters are moving through a world that does not bend to them. That's, I think, a big aspect of Ghibli visual language.
Yeah.
And what's really funny, I can't grab it because it's a video still, but there's one scene in Howl's Moving Castle where she's working on some hats, right?
Yeah.
And... initially, she's the only thing that's animated, so therefore she's the only thing that is like shown in that like more animation-ready style, as I call it. And then she starts to grab hats from the pile, and originally the hats are drawn like a painting because they're not moving. And then they turn softer and more like plush and ready for like animation. You can kind of tell the difference between when they're about to be used for animation, when they're background. Like there's a very solid distinction in Ghibli movies. They're not the same; they're separate. Yeah. I think that speaks a lot to the visual language of Ghibli movies is that there's a lot of intent and a lot of separation. There's not, it's all animated. It's this part is a painting, this part is an animation inside a painting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at these stills. Like, these movies are so freaking beautiful.
100%. They're gorgeous movies.
Yeah. Like, I mean, of course, all animation is art, but Ghibli movies are art.
Yeah. I think all animation is art. I think what happens in a lot of animation is that sometimes intent gets lost because there's kind of a need to like make sure it's produced quickly.
Yeah.
But because Ghibli movies are never produced quickly, like ever. These movies are made
have
at
the
their
time
own pace.
to take time to make them perfect.
Exactly. The intent is never lost in a Ghibli movie. A Ghibli movie is always done with the full director's intent from start to finish. And I think that's what people can tell. That's why they feel so ethereal, is because like if you think about it, since the characters are the only parts that are animated, like I mentioned before, they don't feel like they're the main characters. I don't think any Ghibli movie has the protagonist feeling like the actual main character. They're an actor in the world. There's someone who's enacting change. There's someone who is doing things, but the world has existed before them. It will exist after them, and it already is set in its ways.
Yeah.
So they're playing a small part in it, and then that's it. The world moves forward. And I feel like the visual language really speaks to that, because they're the only thing that's animated. Everything else is very much like, I am this mountain that's been here for 1,000 years. You go enjoy your life. I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to be a mountain for another 4,000 years, you know?
Yeah. I think this made me think, too, about, like, the way these movies usually end. Like, I'm thinking more clearly about Porco Rosso's ending and Nausicaa's ending, where, like, the endings, they just kind of end. Like, there's no, like, big resolution at the end, like a lot of movies do these days, where just the character does what they set out to do, and then the movie just ends. So, like, we have to, imagine for yourself, like, what do you think happens next? Do you think things will get better? Do you think things will get worse? Like, it's more up to us to interpret, rather than giving us a very clear set out, like, this is what happens. which I appreciate,
No, 100%.
honestly.
Oh, same. I love it. And it's like, for example, you mentioned your sister really loving My Neighbor Totoro. Like, how does that movie end? The movie just ends with like, they had an adventure, and then the movie just closes.
Yeah. Like, there's conflict in that movie with the mother in the hospital, but like we don't like get a lot from that.
No.
We're getting the child perspective. They don't really know much about her sickness. They just know that she is sick. And so we don't get a lot of depth and look into like what she's going through.
No, we don't. And in Totoro, do you actually see the mom fully better? Like, do they ever confirm that
I don't think so.
Nope.
They just get to visit her.
Yeah. We don't know what happens. You know, she could be fine. She could be not fine. The movie's like, we're not going to tell you.
Yeah.
That's up for you to figure out. You know, like, is Ponyo happy at the end of the movie? Probably, but also we don't know what her life will be like going forward.
Yeah, I'd always found the ending of Ponyo interesting because, like, it's my favorite. I love it, but like the whole true love, like you will be together forever. Like they're like 5. We don't know how things are actually going to turn out for them.
No, we don't. We don't know at all, and I find it funny because it's funny because like. You can tell Hayao Miyazaki actually doesn't really believe in true love. And what I mean by that is that in Howl's Moving Castle, spoilers if you haven't watched the movie, please close your ears for the next 10 seconds, because I will spoil something at the end of the movie. She saves Turnip Head, right? And he gets to turn back to who he was. She technically, the reason the curse was broken is technically she was his true love, right? And she's in love with someone else. And so he's like, yeah, I'll be back to see if she like is interested in maybe dating me, but like I'm not gonna break her up with what she wants, so I'm just gonna peace. And like the movie's just fine with that, you know, like a lot of American movies would be like for example Twilight stuff, where it's like it's like you're on a set path. And a lot of Ghibli movies, they're like, yeah, there might be love here, it might be true love, I don't know.
It's similar in Porco Rosso too. Like, there's hints at romance, but like, it's left up to interpretation. It's at the end, they're like, well, that's our secret. They don't actually like tell us if he ends up with anyone.
Yeah, he might just go back to being a pig who hates fascists and just doing his own thing, and that's fine.
And they don't even... Like, there's the implication that he turned human at the very end, but they don't actually show us his face, so we don't get an actual confirmation if it's true or not. Which I thought was interesting. I was kind of wondering if he was gonna become human at the end, but the fact that they, like, hint at it but don't actually show us, I think is better than giving a more obvious, clear-cut ending.
I 100% agree. I think it's part of the Ghibli ethos that what are the actual answers?
Yeah.
You know, like there's a whole syndrome currently. I don't know if you know about this, but there's a whole thing right now. Netflix has a mandate for any movie they create, any movie or show.
I've heard about this.
Yeah, in case the audience hasn't heard. Netflix basically has a rule that if you make a movie or TV show for them, it has to be made with the assumption that the person watching is on their phone.
That's so stupid. I hate it.
I hate it too. It's so dumb. And so basically, whenever they make something, the whole time, every Netflix movie show, if you've ever watched them, it's like they explain everything 14 times. They like look at the viewer and they're like, hey, you there on the couch, in case you missed what I just said, I said this. And you're like, okay.
I got those vibes a lot watching the final season of Stranger Things. I was like, man, this is not as engaging as it used to be. They're just like over explaining everything. I was like, this is not as cool as it used to be.
Not at all. You're 100% right. And I think that's the cool thing about Ghibli movies. Is Ghibli movies are like, we're not going to tell you anything. We're not going to tell you shit. Like, your job is to figure it out. And I think that's part of the reason kids love these movies, is that, like, as a kid, you get to dive into this world with your little magnifying glass and trying to figure out, like, how it works and what is there and how everything works and what's going on, because it doesn't handhold you. It doesn't over-explain. Like, the most we learn is that, like, Al is a wizard and Sophie has a curse She can't talk about the curse. Okay, you have enough facts now. Enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
Like,
I know how subtle the magic is in these movies. It's one of my favorite things. It makes it feel more immersive, I think, because when you start like over-explaining a concept, it gets less exciting. So like the magic feels more real when they don't explain it.
Oh, 100%. I agree. Also, hi to my 2 people in chat.
Hello,
hi Jess. Hi Rumar.
welcome.
Welcome in. I 100% agree. So recently there was a really good anime that came out, Frieren. I feel like Frieren is a very spiritual successor to a lot of Ghibli ideas.
I've been meaning to watch it.
It's so good. I won't spoil it. But essentially, what I find really frustrating is one of my favorite things to do, because I have chronic memory issues, is I love to rewatch the hell out of things. I will rewatch multiple times because I'm autistic. I like special interests, and I love sitting down and just locking into something. And a lot of modern Netflix shows or a lot of TV shows these days, I only can watch once because I feel so talked down to in a way by being over-explained to, that I'm like, I've watched it once, I've learned everything I can, it was good, kinda, I'm done, and I move forward with my life and I don't think about it again. I've watched House Moving Castle 30 times and I still find new things. Like, I literally found 4 new things the last time I watched the movie.
Oh my gosh.
And I've watched Frieren like 4 times, and every time I watch it I find something new. Like, it's the type of thing where it like leaves you to figure it out. Like, have you seen Apothecary Diaries?
I haven't seen that one yet either. There's a bunch on my watch list that I have not gotten to yet. I watch more older anime these days.
Yeah, I do too. But those are 2 of the newer ones that I watched. But both of them are type of shows where they're like, yeah, we're not going to explain very much to you. Like, you figure it out. And I love that. I love being able to, because the way my memory often works is I'll have like little shards that are left over because I can't really hold on to memory very well. And so watching something like Ghibli or Frieren, I get to go back in and find new things and add them to like this puzzle piece. And it's just fun, you know? I think that's also the charm of a lot of older anime, is that I feel like a lot of Japanese media, and I could be wrong because I'm not gonna say, like, I'm not gonna stand on a hill and plant a flag. I can say all of Japan because that would be teable. But I feel like a lot of Japanese anime, specifically like the 80s and 90s era, oftentimes have worlds that are not fully explained, and it's up to the viewer to figure them out, and I love that.
Same.
You know?
Which makes like Serial Experiments Lane and those kinds of shows so cool. Cowboy Bebop too. I love older sci-fi anime. The worlds they create are crazy. And like, they don't over-explain them. They just like drop you in there like, check this out. It's so good. I
mean, like old Pokemon, like they're basically like, yeah, we kick these kids out, they go outdoors, they go find monsters. Why are you asking questions? You know? And a modern American version would be, kid walks outside, turns the camera, and is like, I'm gonna go find Pokemon. Pokemon are creatures. And you're like, I don't need to know that. Go have an adventure. You know, like...
I love, like, in the Pokemon anime, Ash knows, like, nothing about Pokemon. He's kind of dumb, but, like, it's a good way to, like, view the world through his perspective, because you get to learn more, like, in an organic way.
100%, yeah. And also, fun fact, you probably know this, but in the English dub of Pokemon, up until I think it was like 5 or 10 years ago, Ash was voiced by the same woman since the original. Like, she voiced Ash the whole time. And I found that so crazy. Yeah, there's that. I always find it interesting how long term some of the voice actors are for some of those projects. It's like,
yeah, no, I love that.
And there's also one other fun fact I had about actually Pokemon that I just remembered, and I'm triple checking myself because again, I like having my facts correct.
Yes, very important.
Yeah, there was a Pokemon actress by the name of Maddie Blaustein.
Oh yeah.
And I don't remember who she voiced, but
she voiced Meowth. She was Meowth.
Yeah. She was Meowth. Yeah, she passed away a while ago in like 2008. But
it's really sad. A lot of the original Team Rocket voice actors have passed away.
But
It's
what was
really
so special
sad.
about her
Mm-hmm.
is she was one of the first trans and intersex voice actors
Yeah.
ever in a lot of things in terms of like dubs.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
that means
Maddie
Meowth is
Boston
trans.
is
Just so you know.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, she was amazing. But yeah, and I think that the beauty of a Ghibli movie, as we were talking about, is the world, the story, the characters. They exist outside of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a very big problem these days is like main character syndrome.
Yeah.
Like, I run the
Definitely.
world revolves around me. No Ghibli movie has that. You think any of these characters think they're the main character? They're just trying to get through whatever crazy hell is happening to them, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. I just think that's so cool.
I love it. Like, I feel like some of the characters too, like Porco Rosso. I think if you told him he was the main character of the movie, he'd be like, "No, I'm not."
He probably would say something crazy like, "Only fascists think they're main characters."
Yeah. Oh my god, so he would totally say something like that.
He would 100%.
Yeah.
He's that type of guy. But yeah, I love that actually, because I think that Ghibli movies kind of push you to think about how you are a smaller part in the world, but how that's kind of beautiful in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. How do I explain it? Okay, this is a little personal, but I don't think it's too much personal.
Go ahead.
As I mentioned at the top of the hour, oh, that was such a podcast thing to say. At the top of the hour, I mentioned that I have DID, dissociative identity disorder, multiple identities in one body, which means I'm not always the one in charge. Very often I'm not. I share this body with 6 other people basically who have their own agendas, their own lives. And part of the reason I love Ghibli movies is because something about them acknowledging they're not the main character and they're okay with that kind of makes me feel better about the fact that like I know I'm not even the main character in my own body, you know? Like I'm part of a 7-person council essentially of like each of us are characters sharing a life together, you know? Like and I think that's kind of beautiful in a way that like being when you're not the main character anymore, it makes the world a lot more digestible. Because it's like stupid shit's gonna happen, things are gonna go all on fire, but like you carve out your own small part, you build your own little garden in this world, you tend to that garden, you get to love your little garden in this world, and that's enough, you know? You don't need to own the whole universe to be the biggest person, you know? And I think that so often part of the reason we have some of the issues we have in this world is because people are so obsessed with trying to be the main character that they lose the beauty in their own little corner, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. I love that.
Thank you.
Also, I just noticed that my YouTuber model just froze. Oh wait, I think we're back. We just zoom into it. What's happened? Apologies if you're watching stream. I just became huge for a second there. There we go. Back to normal.
Your Fuji react is really cute.
Thank you.
I like how it like tilts every time it talks.
Yeah.
It's very visually mesmerizing. It's like it moves to the left every time. It's like you're dancing up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah. My Fuji react was actually drawn by a friend. It's a Glorbo version of one of us.
Yeah, it's really cute. I like yours.
Thank you. I didn't know how to make a Fuji react, and then a friend was like, "Yeah, I'll make you one," and so I've just used that one forever. Yeah. I love my friends. Whenever my friends make me stuff, I'm like, I will treasure this forever, and this is now forever going to be on my stream. And they're like, it doesn't look that good. I'm like, I don't care. You made it.
No, I'm the same way. I feel like everyone I know is an artist, so I have so many people that I can go to and be like, hey, could you help me make this? It's great.
It is great. I love the VTuber community I'm part of
Yeah.
because it's mostly trans people who are mentally ill who love making art, and you know what? Sign me up. That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. There's so many great people in this space that you know
There's so
who
many.
are doing. Yeah. It's a wonderful space for sure.
I agree.
Yeah. Oh god. I just went down a random brain tunnel, so my brain for a second clocked out. I'm back. I was just thinking about how the first time I saw your model, I legitimately was making like cute aggression noises, as I call it.
Oh
like,
my
this is such
gosh.
an adorable model.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know the theory of cute aggression? I don't know if you know about that or not, but
A little bit, I think.
yeah. So cute aggression is the idea that the way your brain outgasses reacting to something super cute is by wanting to like squish it and bite it. And that like is a safer outlet than like what the feeling could potentially become. Like there's an idea that there's an evolutionary response behind it. And so cuteness aggression is why, like, for example, parents will pinch like baby cheeks because they're just like, it's so cute, just like, I want to eat this. Yeah, and a lot of people who are neurodivergent experience cuteness aggression through wanting to bite something. There's a reason there's a joke very commonly about trans women wanting to like nibble on people that they think are cute. It's probably a neurodivergent version of cuteness aggression. It's like, I want to bite this.
That's so silly. I like that.
Yeah, I remember one time I was having a really autistic day where like I was just having a really like my brain was just on overdrive, and I was watching a Ghibli movie and I got so excited that I'm not even joking. I grabbed the DVD case and I lightly bit it, and I was just because I was so excited to watch the movie. And then I was like, why am I biting a DVD cover? My god, what is going on with me today? But yeah, that's a whole other story about yeah, see, Ashbury gets it.
Yeah.
Everyone in my friend group has bit me at least once, and I'm not even joking.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, actually that brings me to a good question. Not necessarily because I'm personally out of the system. I'm ace, so I don't see things as like hot or not hot. But for you, which is the cutest, hottest, whatever definition you want of Ghibli character? Like gender goals, I wish I was them, like whichever version of that pops to your brain. Like what is that for you?
I might have to think about that for a second.
Yeah, take your time.
I mean, I think Nausicaa might be my absolute favorite Ghibli protagonist. She was amazing.
She is amazing. Yeah.
Like she has a really great balance between like being like a cute, pretty, like feminine character, but also being like very, very strong and like the strong female character archetype, but like not in a toxic way. Like I love that whole movie so much. I think Nausicaa is probably really high up there as like my favorite Ghibli characters.
I love that. That makes sense. Nausicaa is that rare thing where like nothing against like big, muscly, strong women in media, but there's an idea that like if you look quote unquote daintier or thinner or whatever, that you can't be like strong in different ways. Nausicaa's like, no. I am very feminine, but I also will gut someone like a fish, and I can do both. And I'm like, that is amazing. I that's one of my favorite things. Because I think a lot of Ghibli women are like that, where they're feminine, but they still are really strong. You know? Yeah.
Like, she's a pacifist and she wants peace for everyone, but, like, not... Spoiler alert, people haven't seen the movie, like, when her father's killed, how she's, like, willing to, like, actually kill.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she just fights and is so powerful in that scene.
Yeah. She fights like a cornered wolf, is the best way I can explain it. There's something, like, unhuman about the way she fights, but it's, like, kind of awesome.
Yeah.
You know? Don't know if that makes sense. I love that. Yeah, because in a lot of American media, like, to be a strong woman, you have to look more, quote unquote, within societal roles. Gender is not real, is whatever you want it to be, but within, quote unquote, societal roles, if you're stronger, you have to look more masculine, or you have to act more masculine, right? In Ghibli movies, that's not the case, right? You can be hyper femme, you know, like, it's the idea of, like, Hatsune Miku being able to, like, destroy someone. It's like
Yeah. Ooh, and
yeah,
in a
for me,
similar vein... Oh,
Yeah, go
sorry. Then say, I
No, go
love
ahead.
the way elderly women are depicted in Ghibli films. There's so many like elderly characters in general, and so many really great old women characters. And even like in Howl's Moving Castle, when Sophie becomes an old woman, like watching her kind of like accept that and like shows that it's not scary and bad to get old, I think is really good messaging. Especially nowadays with people trying their hardest to like not show their age and try and be as young as for as long as possible. Having like healthy, positive depictions of elderly women characters I think is so important. And Studio Ghibli does that really well.
Oh, 100%. I think you're 100% onto something there. I love how Sophie just sees herself as old, and she's like, "Hey, I'm not half bad for being old."
Yeah.
I think it's because like there's this thing. It's kind of a joking thing, but like there's this kind of thing on the internet. I'm 27 in real life. There's this thing where like a lot of people joke like, "Oh, you're about to hit 30. You're about to become a MILF." And it's like, my people, my people in this world, 30 is not old by any standard. 30 is like still pretty young, and I just find it so funny because it's like there's so often in like Western culture this idea of like, oh no, I'm gonna be like 25, 27 or 30 and I'm gonna be so old, I'm like over the hill, and it's like, no.
The whole thing of like VTubers over the age of 25 become hags. I'm like, no, you don't call me that. That's not.
Yeah.
It's such a weird thing to me.
Yeah. I had one viewer one time who was really nice, and but they were like, "Oh, you're like over 25." They're like, "How does it feel to be older?" And I'm like, "I'm not old. I'm like, by definition, old is not 25. Like if 25 is old, we are living in like Expedition 33 times, you know? Like we're all about to turn to dust at 30 if that's the standards we're going off of."
Yeah, it's so weird.
It is so weird. And I do love how in a lot of Ghibli movies, it's like these women are like in their 80s. Like Sophie's probably like 80 when she becomes old. And she's cleaning a house. She's running a whole ship. Like she's fine.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of older people I know in Western culture, I used to volunteer at a senior home when I was a kid. When they hit a certain age, they're like, well, I'm old, so I can't do much anymore. And there's this like powerlessness because of the way we view age in the West of like, oh, I'm no longer young, therefore I'm basically useless. And Ghibli movies are like, no, this woman is like 94 and kicking absolute butt. And it's like, you know, it's the idea that old, it's really just your body is slowing down and that's okay. You know, like that's all that it is. Like you're just a little bit slower, you're a little bit creakier, and that's just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I'm sorry, Ashbury, that happened. Turning 25 is not GILF age. GILF age is like 80.
Oh my gosh.
72, I think. 72 is probably GILF age. If we're going off of actual age numbers, that would make sense. I think it would be like age 40 and then age 70. 40, it's in my opinion probably MILF. Then 68 to like 72, it's probably GILF. Probably is what I would say.
Definitely not says, 25. Like, that's way too young. You're still a baby.
Just a baby. Yeah, no. Internet culture says 25 is MILF, 30 is GILF, but it's like, no.
Yeah, that's... I think people are just so afraid of the idea of getting old, of that. They don't want to seem like they're aging, even though, like, again, like, 25 is young, even 30s are young. Like, there's so much life ahead of us. We're not old.
Not at all. No, not at all. You're 100% right. No, you're 100% correct. I agree with that. And I again, that's part. I think the fear of aging in Western culture is the idea that you're not going to be able to like have as much power anymore. Which I don't think is the case in like Ghibli movies. Personally, for me, I've never been afraid of aging because I have chronic disabilities that basically make my joints really old. And like my joints are, as my doctor put it, I have the joints of a 40-year-old at age 25 when I was 25. Like my joints are way older than they actually are. So I already got the creaks and I'm young. And so like for me, whenever the number goes up, I'm like, the number went up. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Like my body's already kind of fallen apart at a young age, and that's okay. Like I just think, yep. My therapist even asked me, she's like, how do you feel about turning 27? A lot of people feel bad about that. And I'm like, I'm 27. And I'm glad you become more comfortable with the idea of aging, Asprey.
Yeah.
I just want to say that. Yeah.
Like, I'll joke about
Aging
being ancient, but like, I still consider myself quite young.
Yeah. I don't know how old you are, but
I don't talk about my age online a lot, but I'm turning 27 this year, so I'm still a baby.
Oh yeah, congrats. Yeah, you're young. I'm young. We're both young.
Yeah.
Yeah. As Asprey said, hereditary bad knees. I have a condition called Ehlers-Danlos. Basically, my joints fall out of socket. So, it means I have really wide hips, which is fun. That's the one fun part. Otherwise, no. I still remember. Sorry, this is just a side tangent.
Yeah, no worries. Tangents are good.
I appreciate it. I remember one time when I was like 20, someone looked at me because I think it was 21. Yeah, 21. I started HRT. Someone looked at me and they're like, damn, you got birthing hips. And I was like, what does that mean? And then I looked it up and I was like, oh. And the reason I have such wide hips is because of my joint condition. But I often make that joke. I'm like, I'm not disabled. I just have birthing hips.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah. Would it be okay to take like a 4-minute break just to real quick? I gotta stretch and my kitty cat is throwing a fit because it's lunchtime and he's gonna start destroying equipment if I do not feed him.
Yeah, no problem.
Cool. And if you have any topics you want to start on when we come back from a 4-minute break, I would be more than happy to. Yeah.
Okay, talk to you in a few minutes then.
Talk to you in a few minutes. Chat be good. I'll be back shortly. Make sure to drink water, stretch, do whatever you gotta need to do. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Well, while they are on their break, we can just vibe for a bit. We can hang out. How are bites doing today? Hope you guys are having a lovely day. Like I said before, I'm so glad I'm not sick anymore. I miss streaming so much when I have to take a couple of days off for reasons out of my control. If I'm taking a break because I personally just want to take a break, that's one thing. But when I'm forced to take a break for reasons out of my control, I get so upset. So I'm glad to be back today, hanging out with you guys. This has been so fun. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yuppie. I definitely need to watch Castle in the Sky now. Maybe I'll watch it over the weekend. We'll see if we can squeeze it in, because now I'm really in the mood to watch it. It's having kind of a bad week, but I got my grade back today, taught one of my best classes of the semester. Let's go! I'm glad to hear things are getting better for you today. I'm very glad to hear that. Vibing to my BGM music now. Yep, my model's been freezing a bunch today. It's kind of annoying. So I'll talk about it more probably on Monday, because I'm going to be streaming Uma Musume again on Monday, but I have been obsessively doing careers, specifically Saiyan Sky, but also I've been doing some more Daiwa Scarlet and Silent Suzuka careers, and getting frustrated. This is not an Uma Musume stream. I'm not going to go too in-depth on it today, but I think if you're in my Discord, you know I've been getting, like, frustrated trying to do a Saiyan Sky career. If you do one, let me know how it goes in Discord, because I am getting mad. Don't know what I'm doing wrong. I've tried so many different things, and I cannot win the URA finale with her. I haven't figured out what I want to do for stream. Playing Uma Musume on Monday. I have a few options. I might make a poll or something. See who we want to do a career with. I have a few different options. Okay. Looks like Wonder is back. Hello, hello.
Howdy, howdy.
Yably, welcome back.
Thank you for the quick break.
No problem.
I fed the small demon.
Something I wanted to bring up. I think something you mentioned a bit towards the beginning about how Studio Ghibli has kind of grown and changed over the years. Since, of course, Ghibli's been around since the 80s, and it's still making movies. Like, how do you think the studio has changed? Like, the style of their movies have changed over the years?
I think that a lot of the style has stayed similar. I think what's changed is the way the studio thinks about things. And what I mean by that is that in a lot of the older movies, there's a lot of, like, hopefulness. And a lot of the current movies, like, for example, a good example is Ponyo.
Yeah.
In Ponyo, things are falling apart around the main characters. They don't notice, right? Like, I feel like a lot of Ghibli movies these days contend with the idea of, like, we've not done enough. And Boy and the Heron also talks about that, I think. And so I think a lot of Ghibli movies these days are more about, like, how time has kind of passed us by. And I think it reflects a lot of how Miyazaki himself is getting older and probably hasn't seen the world change the way he wants.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because, like, a lot of people think, for context, a lot of people think that the environmental movement is new. Like, it's a product of the 21st century. It's not.
Yeah.
The environmental movement first started around the late 70s. And actually was a big driving force under, fun fact, President Nixon. A lot of people do not expect that, but yes, President Nixon was actually one of the ones who was really pushing forward a lot of environmental regulations. But it stalled out due to a variety of factors, and it kind of has never gone back to the strength it was at then, to be blunt. And I think that a lot of Hayao Miyazaki movies were thinking about the fact that, like, oh, we could probably fix the world. We can probably do better with the environment. We probably can do all these things. And now it's like in Ponyo, there's these storms, there's these events happening, but the characters have no way of stopping them. Like
Yeah.
the world is now changing, and we can't fix it. That's, I think, what a lot of Ghibli movies these days are pondering is, can we actually fix it? Which is a heavy question to ask, but Ghibli movies have never asked simple questions, you know?
No, definitely.
Yeah. That was probably a very depressing way to explain it, but that's...
Yeah, but no, it's so true. And I like, again, kind of how the protagonists are not really main characters. Think really it makes those messages even more impactful. Like, I mean, like you're seeing in Ponyo, the main characters are children. Like, of course, so they're not going to really have any ability to fix things. But then that's not entirely what the movie's about either.
No.
Like, maybe, sure, they can't fix things, but they can still persist and do what they can anyway.
Yeah. I think you actually hit it on the head there. I think that's the part that I forgot to mention. Is that the idea that we still have to persist, even though we can't fix it anymore. You know? It's that whole thing that, like, a lot of the kids these days are really stressed about what will happen with the environment, and they don't know what to do. And it's like, there's only so much you can do, you know? And at the end of the day, you just have to persist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think giving up, too, is, like, the worst thing you can do. Like, even if you can't actually change the world in a huge, impactful way, like, still putting in the effort to try and make even a tiny difference is enough.
Exactly. Yeah. It's that building your own garden. I mean, that's the whole reason, partly, that Sophie is cursed in Howl's Moving Castle, is that she had given up on herself. You know? Like, she didn't see any point in investing in herself at all. Right? And so she breaks the curse by persisting, by actually trying. Yeah.
I love that message, honestly. One of the things that you need as, like, little pick-me-up every now and then, like, if Sophie can do it, so can I.
Oh, 100%, yeah. It's also the thing that, like, there's this idea in the US of, like, individualism to, like, a hyper extreme. And actually part of the way that they killed the environmental movement, fun fact, is by switching it to, it's your fault. It's you, the individual's fault. It's not the corporation's fault. It's not the oil baron's fault. It's not the polluter's fault. It's you for not using eco-friendly products. Your fault for not doing enough for the planet. And it's like, but how much can you actually do as one person? Right? Like, not much. And like you're saying, it's that thing of a lot of Ghibli movies are about how community, like about how together we can actually make change, you know? Has, like, how many Ghibli movies have just the main character doing their thing alone, you know?
Yeah, no, it's always like a wide, very vivid cast of characters. Like, everyone plays a part, which I think is amazing. And really important kind of messaging. Especially here in the US, where, again, we're so individualistic that we don't try and reach out to our communities as much as we should be. And working together.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. You're 100% correct. I think that's part of the reason that there's been so much frustration with the modern day internet. Is the modern day internet now is very, like, siloed. Like, we each are very individual in our internet experience these days. You know, I think that's partly why a lot of Americans experience loneliness, is because we're so individual, we forgot that we need people, you know? Like, we just need people. Sophie ends up having Calcifer, I forget the name of the kid.
Yeah.
And she has all of these people, and that really dumb dog that has wings for some reason, and you know, Turnip Head, and she has this whole connected community. And you know, the kid even asks her, like, are you gonna leave? Are you gonna go off and do your own thing again? And she's like, no, this is my family now. Yeah. Like, I find personally, I know a lot of my friends who originally, because they're trans, when they were going through the experience individually, a lot of them started to feel like they might want to give up on transitioning or whatever it may be. But when they had community support, when they had the other people to connect with, that they felt stronger, you know? Like, one tree can't stand against a flood, but a forest can, you know?
Yeah, a little bit different, but that was how it was for me when I came out as a lesbian. I wasn't comfortable coming out until I started going to art college, and meeting a lot of other queer people. And then my younger sibling actually came out as trans. And I was like, there's more people than I realized around me that were queer, so it made me more comfortable coming out. I think having that kind of community is so important.
100%. Yeah, I can imagine like going to art school, you had like that feeling of like, oh, I'm not the only one, you know? Like, I'm actually not that different. And that kind of is nice, you know? Like, other people share the same things that I share, and therefore, like, it's kind of nice to have that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. For context of why occasionally I'm pausing and why I'm talking is my cat is stir crazy right now, and he plays fetch, and that requires me to grab his pencil and throw it, or else he will throw a fit. So I have to basically pause occasionally to go grab a pencil.
Oh, I love that. What's your cat's name, if you don't mind me asking?
Miltdud. Miltdud. He is a lovely little boy. I can actually real quick, if you want to share a photo with.
Yeah, of course.
I post on Blue Sky sometimes of my cat, and let me go grab the kitty photo.
Yeah, I love hearing about people's cats.
I know, he's such a cute little boy. There he is.
Oh, so cute. Alright, let me grab this so that my viewers can see the silly little guy.
Yeah, he's full grown, but he's only like 6 pounds. He's undersized. He has asthma and joint issues like me. And he can't jump. He only can climb.
Oh. He's so cute, very fluffy.
Oh, so fluffy.
Looks very pettable.
He had some issues with his coat because he actually, fun fact, was a dumpster cat.
Oh.
We found him in a trash can eating a turkey bone.
Oh my gosh. I'm glad he has a loving family now.
Yeah, we took one look at that cat. We're like, you look weird and off, and you are now our cat.
I love that.
I've joked before, our household is a pit stop for weird things. Like, if it's weird, it ends up here. But yeah. I love our cat, but yeah, for some reason the only game he likes playing is fetch. He sits when he's told. He comes when he's called. He asks for food by squeaking if you tell him to ask. Like, he actually is trained for some reason.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, people think he's a dog. He's not a dog.
No, that's funny, because my family we have 2 German Shepherds currently, and one of them is very cat-like. For some reason, like, she just acts like a cat. What's really funny is that we have a cat-like dog, you have a dog-like cat.
Exactly, we went in opposite directions.
Animals are so funny.
They are they are wonderful. Our cat thinks it's his job to be a therapy animal, even though he's not properly trained. So,
oh my gosh.
If I have like an asthma attack or like anxiety, his idea of solving the problem is laying on my chest, which actually makes my airflow worse. So like he's like, I fix, and then I'm sitting there like, I can't
doing
breathe.
His best.
Thank you. Yeah. But yeah, God, I ramble so much.
No worries, no worries.
But yeah, I think that is the beauty of every Ghibli movie, is that it is all community, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Typically the individualistic ones in Ghibli movies are the villains. You know, the Witch of the Waste
yeah.
doesn't have community. She's just a turd until she gets, hit with the magic beam,
Yeah, honestly. That is very true.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's funny in Porco Rosso how, like, the kind of villain guy, even though he's not really a villain, Curtis, he's the American, and he's kind of a stereotype, but, like, also pretty accurate, I would say. Like, he's a funny character.
He is a funny character. I feel like, how do I put this? Americans are easy to stereotype accurately.
Yeah. Honestly, that's so true. Like, as soon as they introduced him as the American, I kind of already had an idea of what kind of guy he was gonna be, and I was right.
Yep. Oh god, 100%. I always find it funny when Miyazaki movies bring in Americans, because that's always like, oh yeah, this is based on something. He met some American that left a deep impression.
Yes.
100%. But yeah, like the villain in Nausicaa of the Wind, like yeah, she has her army, but like is she really part of a community? Like she kind of is her own person doing her own thing, Yeah. I feel like Ghibli movies basically are saying three things: love the environment, end war and individualism to an extreme, and capitalism is bad.
Yeah.
Like almost none of the movies have capitalist elements to them, I think that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it sucks because of how anti-capitalist and how the kind of messaging these movies have that, again, I think what we were talking about before, how it's kind of been sanitized to a certain degree, the way people talk about it online. People are like, this is like Ghibli-inspired, cozy farming sim. Like, is it really Ghibli-inspired? Is this really Ghibli? Or is it just a cozy, wholesome farming sim? Because I feel like those are very different things. Like, Ghibli movies are definitely cozy, but not in the way that you're depicting it.
No. I think that's the problem, is that, like, a lot of, like, popular animes, like Dandadan and stuff, are kind of, like, left alone. They're allowed to be their own message. But I think because Ghibli is so beautiful and ethereal, people look at it and they're like, I can basically copy this and use it as a shorthand for beauty instead of trying to make my own unique thing. Like, it's so beautiful that if I just copycat it a bit, then you'll think that the rest of the thing I'm making is beautiful, even if it's not. If that makes sense. It's kind of like a shortcut.
It's like Ghibli films are anything but lazy, and like so much time and effort gets put into them, but a lot of the things that claim to be Ghibli inspired feel like the level of effort is not there. Like, they're just trying to use Ghibli as like a comp title, be like, look, it's cozy and it's got nature in it, but it's not actually Ghibli inspired in the way that it should be, I think.
You're 100% correct. I think you're 100% correct. I think my personal theory is the reason that so many dumb Gen AI tech bros use Ghibli is they think that if they slap a Ghibli filter on top of an AI image, it'll make you think it's beautiful, and therefore they can get away with it.
Yeah, but honestly, like, I mean, I hate AI in general, so I'm never gonna find it beautiful, but like, the Ghibli AI generated stuff just looks so depressing, because like it just could feel the lack of whimsy and life that's actually in those images. Like, it's completely opposite to the way you feel when you watch a Ghibli film. Like, somehow 100%. They've done worse. Like, it was already bad, but trying to make it Ghibli makes it feel worse.
It feels like the like AI junk is like, hey, we stole the organs from a really popular person. You'll still like it, right? And it's like,
oh my God. Yeah. That's so accurate.
It's a slightly morbid metaphor.
It's like, no, that doesn't make it better, actually.
No, it doesn't. You might have stolen Ghibli's kidneys, but that doesn't mean that, like, it's gonna be Ghibli. 1 second. There we go. My cat had air trapped in his lungs because he doesn't eat right, so I had to give him, I had to press his side so he burp, and then it fixes it. Yes, I have to burp my own cat sometimes. Little guy has issues. It's okay. But yeah, I think that actually, ironically, it's a testament to Ghibli's beauty that so many things try to steal from it. You know, like you have to do super well for people to be like, we have to steal this somehow. It's the whole joke of like a popular game gets really popular and then immediately like some knockoff studio tries to make the same game again because they're like, this is good. Yeah. I always find that funny. And people often are like, wait, is everything Ghibli's made good? Answer is no. There are actually some duds in the Ghibli canon. But people just don't remember them.
Which do you consider like the duds of Ghibli?
There's two that are pretty. I'm gonna get the names real quick. There's one that they made fully with 3D without
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it is awful. It does not look good at all. And then the other one is let me find the name of it.
Is it Earwig and the Witch? That's the 3D one?
Earwig and the Witch is one of them. Yeah, that one is infamous for not being good. Though it was not made, I think, using the standard process that a lot of them go through. But I have it right here. Filmography. I have Wikipedia on my phone because I like checking my own facts. Because I'm like, I'm not going to, just make stuff up and then be wrong. Because there are a couple movies were made not by technically. Were not technically directed by Hayao Miyazaki. For example, Grave of the Fireflies is one of them.
Oh yeah.
And then I think the other one is Tales from Earthsea. That's the other one that's kind of famous for not being as good.
Interesting.
Which was made by
that one is
Miyazaki.
based on a book that I tried reading when I was younger and I couldn't get into.
Tales of Earthsea was made by Hayao Miyazaki's son. And it's kind of well known that it's not as good. And so that's the one that a lot of people have given. Like, I think the two that people often forget were part of Ghibli because they just don't remember them because they weren't as good. Is ironically both of the ones made by Goro Miyazaki, which is Earwig and the Witch and Earthsea. Yeah. Sadly, the two duds were made by Hayao Miyazaki's son. I apologize that his track record has not been great.
That sucks.
It does. I'm
starting to understand why maybe Miyazaki didn't want to give it to his son.
Yeah. You can tell he's trying though.
Yeah.
Have you? This is one of the ones I haven't watched, but have you seen When Marine Was There?
I haven't, but I actually want to watch that one.
I've heard a lot about it. It's the one that people call the most lesbian movie that's not a lesbian movie.
Yeah, that's why I want to watch it.
I've heard people say it's so gay it hurts, but it's also not gay. And it's like, it makes me laugh so hard because it's like, that's such a funny way to describe it, My headcanon is a lot of characters in Ghibli movies are queer because they never make it clear, so therefore I get to say that. I'm allowed. So When Marina Was There essentially is a movie about, let me get the description for chat who's asking because people are reacting to the fact that lesbians are lesbians. When Marina Was There, let me get the description of it. So there's even articles about it when it came out. When Marina Was There. It's from 2014. It was directed by Hiromasa Yunabayashi. And it basically is about Anna Sasaki, where she meets Marine, a mysterious girl who asks her to promise to keep their secrets from everyone. And so basically they spend a ton of time together. They basically get super close. It's super emotional. And a lot of people view it as a lesbian love story, even though it is not technically a canonical lesbian love story. So.
No, that sounds really good. I want to watch it.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of, like, how do I put it? So often people put Hayao Miyazaki on like a pedestal as the only good director at Ghibli, but there have been other directors than him. Quite a few, actually. One of his big co-creators actually was the one who I think made The Grave of the Fireflies, but passed away young, and was actually one of the people that wanted to actually have him make more movies. But he never got the chance to due to his early passing. But yeah. But yeah, there's multiple articles if you look up Marina was there about like the queer undertones. It's a whole discussion.
Yeah, I remember hearing people talking about it back when it first came out, but I've never gotten around to watching it. But I really want to now.
Same. It's one on my list. I think I've only missed 2 Ghibli movies, and that's one of them. Yeah, I'll actually grab you a screenshot from when Marina was there for your chat, so they can see why people think it's gay. It's definitely the most queer of the Ghibli canon. Okay, fine. A photo. Here we go. Here's a photo of the 2 main characters in this movie. It's also a one of the girls is much more she's not like hyper femme, which is also interesting. Yeah, let me send it a little. Here's a screenshot for when Marina was there. Of course.
Alright, let me put this on screen. Give me 1 second. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Definitely gives the vibes, based on the screenshot, of something that would have really, like, rewired my brain chemistry if I watched this as a child.
100%. It's definitely one of those where you're like, oh. This definitely could have had some undertones.
Absolutely.
For me, the one that rewired my brain chemistry is Howl's Moving Castle. But I think that, like, do you have a movie or property that, like, for you is the, like, you watched it and you just sat there and you're like, I'm a different person now? For you personally?
Probably watching the anime Madoka Magica for the first time. That had a lot of impact on me. It's still like my all-time favorite. It's definitely a big part of my brain has become Madoka Magica. That and watching the live-action series on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, that's a good one. What is Madoka Magical Girl about? I'm curious.
Yeah, it's kind of misunderstood because a lot of people nowadays will be like, it is this crazy deconstruction of the magical girl genre. And like, it is a deconstruction of the magical girl genre, but I feel like it's so much more than that. But people only like think about it for the dark aspects of it. But it's so beautiful and so hopeful. Like, it's a lot more hopeful than people give it credit for. And it's also got a lot of Yuri subtext.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. It's got some really great Yuri couples in there.
Hit it with the Yuri.
Yes.
Are you someone who likes when a show has a lot of like Yuri subtext, even if it's not like open about it? Or do you prefer if it's just open about it?
Yeah, I mean, of course I love when it's more explicitly open with it. I've never minded the subtext. Like, I think the subtext actually helped me get more comfortable with the idea of it when I was younger. Because I loved Madoka Magica, I loved the Love Live franchise. It has a lot of that too, a lot of subtext.
Nice.
So
yeah.
Even though, of course, like, I love it when they can kiss on screen and, like, make it canon. Like, the subtext, as long as you can feel it, it's real, right?
Oh, 100%. It's the thing of, like, it's like, we have fan fiction for a reason.
Yeah.
AO3 exists for a particular purpose. No, I feel that. It's similar for me of, like, a lot of my favorite mangas or animes are gender benders. Because it's like, even though it's never said explicitly, a lot of times I can experience like a lot of trans undertones through that, you know? It's like, even though they explicitly, they're like, no, it's not, it's just magic happened. And I'm like, yeah. Sure. Or how the fact that most of the time, similar to how Sophie is not upset about being old, a lot of times the guys get turned into women and they're like, this is fine. And I'm like, you realize it being fine means that, like, there's something more going on in your brain, because most people would flip their shit, and this person's just like, oh, this is fine, I can live with this. And that always makes me laugh. Yeah.
So I actually have one more question on my little list that we haven't gone over yet. We've talked about the Ghibli dubs quite a bit. Have you watched any of the Ghibli films in Japanese?
Yes. I watched most of the ones outside of Howl's Moving Castle and Castle in the Sky. I watched with the watch in Japanese with the subtitles on. Howl's Moving Castle and Castle in the Sky, because I watched them so many times as a kid, I'm so used to the dub that watching it not in dub, like, for my autism, it's like the pattern gets messed up. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, but all the rest, yes.
Do you notice any, like, differences between the dub and subbed versions? Like, of course, I know that the translations are pretty faithful, but is there anything that you think is lost in a translation, or, like, in the way the characters speak? Anything at all that you think makes the sub better than the dubs?
I think that there's this is something I think often gets lost in a lot of English dubs of series. A lot of Japanese shows focus on subtleness. A lot of them are not, like, hyper, like, bombastic. Of course, certain genres are, but, like, a lot of them, for example, Frieren, if you watch it with Japanese with subtitles, the voice acting is very, like, subtle. It's very gentle. The vocal inflections are not loud, right? And a lot of English dubs, I notice, they tend to, I think this is a Western thing, as far as I know, but a lot of Americans, when we talk, we, like, really emphasize certain things. We're very, like, loud with certain phrases and stuff. So I think sometimes some of the Ghibli movies, if you watch the dubs, the thing you're missing is some of the more, like, subtle expression that some of the characters will say in Japanese, because the English version will be a little bit more, like, for example, I don't speak Japanese, but for example, if I was to say one line from a random thing, I'll use this example, is like, you stop right there, right? Like, you stop right there, if it was said in an English dub, would be like, you stop right there, like, it's very loud, right? But then the Japanese version might be like, you stop right there, like, it's much more subtle. That's what I pick up on.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed that or not.
I mean, I kind of go back and forth. Like, I don't think I watched any of the Ghibli films in Japanese. I think I've pretty much seen all of them in English. But with other anime, definitely, it really depends on the show, honestly. But a lot of the time, I do end up favoring the Japanese versions, because I feel like it's more authentic. I think a lot of the time the dub is trying to be the Japanese version rather than trying to be its own. interpretation, right? So
Yeah.
usually the original I usually find is better. I think the Ghibli movies, even though I'm sure the Japanese versions are amazing, I definitely want to watch some of them in Japanese at some point. I do think that the dub performances are done really well, though. Like, even if it's
100%.
different, I feel like it's still like a very faithful, like, interpretation of the characters.
I agree.
There's never been a moment where I feel like that's not what that guy looks like he'd sound like. Because I think sometimes
100%.
in anime dubs, you're like, I feel like this is a weird way to voice this guy. Whereas, I've not felt that way about any of the Ghibli voices. Everyone feels the way they should sound.
I agree. 100%. In one of the few recent animes I've actually watched in dub is Sakamoto Days. But the way they made the dub was they had Japanese translators on site while they were recording, and every line they would basically tell the English voice actors how the inflection would have been in Japanese, like how the sentence would have been said. So the dub is like, it's very, very close to like an actual Japanese, like the inflection and voice tone that you would have.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like it's one of the highest fidelity dubs, and I think Ghibli dubs are similar to that, where they're pretty high fidelity.
Yeah.
I do think that Ghibli dubs, the English actors tend to be a little bit more loud than the Japanese versions, but I don't think that there's like fidelity lost versus like other dubs where you're like, the infamous Sailor Moon Cousins thing, where it's like, yeah, we lost a lot got lost here.
Oh my gosh. Like, they made the lesbians cousins. I know there was also a gay relationship where they made one of them a woman in the dub.
Yep.
I was like, come on, guys.
Luckily, the modern remake of Sailor Moon keeps it extremely gay.
Yeah, which is good. No, they also redubbed the original to make it more accurate to the original, which I appreciate.
Yeah. Fun fact, I've only seen the remake of Sailor Moon.
Yeah, I watched a bit of the remake. I need to finish it one day.
It's good. I think they did a very good job on it. And also they just allow it to be straight Yuri for so much of it. And it's amazing. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I do think that for sure that is something that I do think that is one of the most interesting conversations about like dubs versus subs is like also a lot of people don't appreciate how often your subtitles also need to be accurate. Like so many people focus on like, oh, the dub is always worse, right?
Oh yeah.
But it's like sometimes the subtitles are written really poorly, or like Crunchyroll's been doing, they're written by AI.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we're losing fidelity as well just because the subtitles were poorly made. Like just because there's subtitles doesn't mean the sub is going to be as good, Yeah. That's one of the things I sometimes get fussy with anime fans about. I'm like, yes, subtitles are often the better way to watch it with the original Japanese audio, but also keep in mind your subtitles also need to be accurate. If your subtitles are not accurate, then there's no difference between the dub and the sub in that case.
We need to go back to the days of the fan subs that had like annotations to explain the specific meaning behind certain words that aren't as easily translatable.
I love when they do that. That is so cool. It's part of the reason I love fan translations of manga. Because so often the like translator of manga will like spend 4 paragraphs explaining one word, and you're like, thank you. I love this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's very important, because I think the thing is that like I view anime and manga as not only like art, but also it's a cultural product. It's a cultural snapshot from a culture that I'm not from. And so I love when I get extra context, because I'm like, I didn't know that. That wasn't something I even knew, And I love being able to learn things I didn't know. That I'm just like, oh wow.
No, I'm the same way. I love that.
Yeah, because you've been to Japan. I've never been outside the US because I'm disabled and broke. But how like how did that feel for you going to Japan? Of like the
It's crazy because one of those things where, because I've been a fan of this stuff since I was really young, I've watched anime and listened to Japanese music, so getting to like be there and like seeing things like anime and like Japanese music is to be like a normal, like mainstream kind of, like not mainstream, but like it's more just like a normal part of everyday life. Like you go to any convenience store anywhere and there's gonna be like collabs with whatever the popular series at the moment is. You'll see Hatsune Miku on like freaking everything. Like, it's so interesting and kind of surreal in a sense. Being like, yeah, no, this is just normal everyday life stuff.
Yeah. Is it like kind of like that? It no longer feels like it's nerd culture as much.
Yeah.
Like just
and like, of course, if you go to like Akihabara, like, yeah, you could go more deeper and like get more into the more niche, nerdier stuff. But like, everyone knows Pokemon. Everyone knows Sailor Moon. Everyone knows Hatsune Miku. Like, certain things are just like common knowledge.
That's fascinating. It's sort of like. It's sort of just like, oh, you know, like for us, there's an element of, oh, this anime or whatever is like my own little special niche, you know, like talking about Ghibli films like we are right now. But then over there, it's more, as you're saying, it's more just like, yeah, Sailor Moon. What about it? It was like, oh wow, this is not nerd culture as much for you.
Oh my gosh, one of the most surreal experiences I had, I don't really talk much about the job I was working when I was in Japan, but I'll say it involved a lot of like conversations with Japanese people in English. And I remember having the most surreal experience talking with this one woman who, like, at the start was like, oh yeah, I don't really have many hobbies. Like, oh, okay, this will be an interesting conversation, let's see how it goes. Only for about halfway through, revealing that she's actually like a huge anime fan. Like, she was a big part of the Sailor Moon fandom back when it was originally airing. And like, she watched Revolutionary Girl Utena, and like, we talked about Utena for like 15 minutes. So like, this is not how I expected this to go. But it was a really nice conversation, actually. I was like, I was not expecting you to, like, wanna talk about Utena with me for 15 minutes. That was a really crazy experience. But, like, that's just... imagine. It's a part of people's lives. Like, maybe they don't watch anime as much nowadays, but a lot of people, like, grew up on it still. So, like... It's really interesting.
I can imagine. It's also really funny. I always laugh so hard when someone's like, I don't really have any hobbies, and then they like info dump for 2 hours, and you're like, so you do have a hobby.
Yeah.
I've never seen Utena.
Oh, it's so good. I highly recommend it. It's a really good one.
Yeah?
And like really surprisingly like progressive for 90s anime.
Oh, nice.
Like, it's also lots of Yuri. Lots of Yuri. There's a lot more than just the Yuri. It's very, very interesting kind of story, but it's really good.
I'll have to add it to my list then. That sounds great. I always laugh because I always find it interesting because there's different types of progressive anime. Like Utena is as you're saying progressive. Another example of one that people often tell me is progressive, but I personally don't feel it is as much, is Ouran High School.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like people say it's progressive.
Yeah,
but...
I would say it's one of those things where it's definitely not that progressive, but you have to also remember, like, at the time that it aired and the kinds of people who are watching it, like, it's super impactful for a lot of queer people growing up. So, like, is it progressive? Not really, but it helped a lot of people somehow in the same way.
Yeah, I feel like Ouran High School
kind of goes back and forth.
Yeah, it's one of those weird cases where, like, it's progressive in the sense that we could read it as more progressive than I think it was intending to be. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we were able to look at it and be like, oh, they're trying to say this and this, and it's like probably they were not, but
yeah.
hey, at
No,
least
I
we were able to
agree.
extract something from it.
Like, it's one of those things where it's not progressive, but it still has, like, there's messaging there that you can interpret in maybe a way that's different from the author's intent.
Oh, 100%, yeah. This is kind of a dumb side story, but like related to that is I grew up, my dad was super not progressive, like very conservative, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things he said to me, ironically, helped me figure out a lot of things. And he's like, he one time was going on one of his rants. He was a guy who ranted a lot.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I'm so glad I'm straight, blah, blah. He's like, I don't know if you've heard of lesbians, but you know, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wait, what's that word mean? And then I went and Googled it, and that's how I learned a lot about like myself. And I'm
Oh
like,
my gosh.
he weirdly accidentally gave me a progressive way into like who I was through his rant. And I'm like,
Oh, I love that.
I was like, why? Well, like, thank you. I will research this. But yeah. Actually, fun fact, that's also how I learned about what being trans was because of him talking about that. He was one time on a rant. He's like, yeah, some people inject estrogen and grow boobs. I'm like, that sounds awesome.
Oh, that's great.
Sign me up. But yeah. I always find that funny because I do think there are definitely some anime like that where it's not meant to be progressive, but we were able to read it as progressive, and therefore we learned a lot about ourselves as kids, you know?
I misheard the word lesbian the first time I heard it. Thought it was a lesbian. And then he grew up to Elizabeth was gay. Oh my gosh. That's great.
Oh, that's hilarious, Ashbury.
That's so cute.
I had a similar problem with I'm hard of hearing. I had a similar problem with the word bisexual. I misheard it as Bethany. Don't ask why. I was having a really bad hearing. Didn't know that. And so I thought that one of the sexuality, I thought LGBTQ plus was lesbian, gay, Bethany, and trans. And I had to research it and learn that no, the B is actually bisexual.
Oh my gosh.
What? Why is Bethany in there? I don't know. I don't know what I was on that day, but
everyone named Bethany is bi. It's canon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from my experience, that has been the case, but like I'm probably wrong, but so far it's panned out to be correct. I actually, funny story. My dad one time was like, "I'm never gonna vote for Biden because he has bi in his name." I'm like,
Oh my
guy. Yeah, he used to do silly stuff like that with word association, and I'm like, it makes no sense, but okay. Oh god.
Well, we're getting close to the end of when we usually end these podcast episodes. Do you have any last thoughts about Ghibli that you want to share before we start wrapping up?
Last thoughts. Let me. Well, firstly, I had a ton of fun today. Thank you.
Yeah, this was so much fun. I'm glad you could be here.
I'm glad you had fun. Feel free to throw me a ping if you ever want to do anything. I'd be more than happy to do stuff if you want to. Last thoughts on Ghibli, and also thank you to everyone who's chatted today as well, or lurked, or
thank you everyone for showing up.
Yeah. My final thoughts for Ghibli is I think Ghibli movies, by and large, can be a great avenue for self-healing. I think that a lot of these movies talk about the things that we often miss in this world, like we've talked about, of like community, of connection, of being a strong female protagonist in particular, which a lot of people don't have a personal ability to see in the world. You know, a lot of the strong protagonists in American culture are men. You know, think of like a lot of the movies that we've seen growing up. And I think Ghibli movies provide us the avenue to really sit with ourselves and ask ourselves the hard questions of like, what do we want for the planet? What do we want for ourselves? What do we want to build in this world? What do we want to change? And I think that a lot of anime can bring a lot of meaning to people's lives and help a lot of people understand things. I personally am face blind, and without animation, I wouldn't actually know what a human smile looks like. And I think that experiencing Ghibli is one of the best ways to really have a better understanding of what it means to be alive in the world.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think Ghibli movies are just, again, like, so comforting. Not in the fact that they're super cozy and idealistic, but in that they're so hopeful. And they give you reasons to keep going, you know? Even though most of these worlds, so many terrible things are happening, that so many things are out of the character's control, like, the determination and the hope that these characters have, I think is super inspiring and super important. We need more characters like this these days. So, if you haven't watched a Ghibli movie before, or if you've only seen a couple, I highly recommend watching more, cause... Oh my god, thank you for the head pat! welcome in. But yeah, I think these are the kind of movies that really will impact you. Might not be as obvious as it is for some people, might not be as huge of an impact as it might be for some people, but the impact is real, and you'll feel a lot from these movies. You'll gain so much.
Yeah, 100%. These are real treasures. They're really worth our time to sit with, you know?
But again, thank you so much for joining me today. This was a lot of fun yapping with you.
Yeah, I had a blast. I have not had this much fun talking for 2.5 hours in a long time, so I really appreciate it.
I'm so glad to hear that.
It was lovely meeting you today as well.
Yeah, lovely meeting you too.
Yeah. I think you do a wonderful job of fostering a really nice community, and I think you're doing a great job as a creator, and I just want to shout you out for being able to do all of that.
Oh my gosh, thank you. That means so much to hear. Thank you.
Of course.
Is there anything you want to promote or shout out for yourself to my viewers before we go?
We are currently working on some future events. We are currently working on some I just wanted to 1 second. There. I just put a shout out for you in my chat.
Oh, thank you.
Of course. We are currently working on a VTuber/Creators Against Ice event that should be happening in the near future. We are also going to be streaming Warframe for the first time in the near future. We're typically live Tuesday, Thursdays, sometimes Fridays, playing games and just doing whatever comes to our brain. And we're always more than happy to, you know, have more people. Thank you for the bits, Ashbury. Really appreciate it. And is there anything you want to shout out to my chat? I want to give you the opportunity.
Yeah. Let's see. I stream many times throughout the week, so there's definitely lots of content going on both my Twitch and my YouTube. Most exciting stuff going on right now. I am currently doing a giveaway of Deltarune. I have a game key for Deltarune that I'm going to be giving away to one of my viewers. As a thanks for helping me to raise $110 for Stream for a Cause, as most recent Week of Trans Love event. So if you haven't entered my giveaway, everyone is welcome to.
Oh, hell yeah. And how would someone find the giveaway entering information?
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and plop the Google form into chat right now. The link is also available in my Discord server and on my YouTube channel page. I'm gonna plop it in chat right here as well. All you have to do is fill out this form, and you will be entered for the possibility of a copy of Deltarune for Steam. It's one of my favorite video games of all time. I've streamed it so much, and I'm actually currently streaming it right now with my mom, introducing her to Deltarune. So if you like Deltarune, definitely check out my channel. I play that all the time. As well as a lot of other games. Doing Pokemon Legends ZA right now. I do a lot of Uma Musume Pretty Derby. Lots of fun stuff.
The horse girls.
Yes. We love horse girls over in my community.
That's so cool. I love that. I've never played Deltarune, actually, and I've always struggled to get into it because I have dyslexia. So if you ever have any tip, I might hit you up for some tips or questions about trying to play that game, because I will be fully frank, I have not been able to figure out how to get into it. Yeah. So cool. Thank you so much for sharing. It sounds like you're doing a lot of amazing stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and we can do our outros. Do you want to do a shared raid? Do you want to raid the same channel?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'd be down. You can actually raid with a shared chat?
I don't think we can do a completely combined raid, but we can both raid the same person.
The same person.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have someone in mind? I'm
looking to see who is live currently on my end.
Let me look on my end. Let's see if any of my friendos are online.
Looks like Orchid Memoria is live. I raid her every now and then.
Oh, hell yeah. And I currently have, on my end, one of my friends is Jane is Blue. She's a lovely Black creator who does a lot of
let's go ahead. Can you drop the name of the channel in Discord? Sure. I love reading into new people.
Hell yeah. Let's go say, okay, so let me first, I'm going to say goodbye to your chat. Let me end share chat first before I raid, because sometimes I run into issues if I don't end it first. And then, if you want to go ahead, if you want to deafen and start your outro.
Yeah, sounds good, sounds good.
Thank you so much for your time again.
Thank you so much. It was so much fun.
It was so much fun. Take care of yourselves.
You too. Goodbye.
Alright, hope to chat in the future. Bye-bye.
Alright, well guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. This was so much fun, yapping about Studio Ghibli. Honestly, it's one of my favorite podcast episodes I've done so far. It's been such a lovely conversation, and I'm glad you guys also had fun. So yeah, again, my next stream is going to be tomorrow, same time, 2 p.m. EST, finally continuing Deltarune with my mom. Finally. Let me see, I messed up the raid. Let me fix this. Can I search? Here you go. This is who we're raiding. Alright, let me go ahead, start the raid. Alright, everyone hop into the raid, it will get you channel points. Everyone hop into the raid. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. It was so much fun. And I will talk to you guys again very soon. Bye bye.